What's next, Ben?
So next up is some news from the guys at Wizard of the Coast. They have outlined what's coming next in their storyline for the world of Dungeons and Dragons, and they are heading back into the Forgotten Realms and up to Icewind Dale with the Rime of the Frost Maiden. So this is going to be a new adventure that is sort of situated up in the frozen north there of the Forgotten Realms in Faerun, and it's all going to be a little bit horror, a little bit fantasy. One of the things they talked about in the launch stream for this was that they're going to be sort of taking cues from things like The Thing and Alien and that kind of sort of mentality when it comes to horror stories where nothing's quite as it seems. So maybe some people are going to be infected, all that kind of thing, messing around with magic and that kind of stuff too. So there's some really interesting stuff they're doing going with when it comes to that kind of angle with D&D, which is very, very cool. Telling a little bit of a different story as opposed to the traditional one of just dealing with, dragons and all that kind of thing, which is very cool.
I have two questions.
Yes.
Question one,
mm-hmm.
What is that monster on the front?
Yeah.
It's an owl bear.
Well, it's got horns. Owlbears have horns?
You'll see a miniature for it in just a second when we look at the other link, and
it's
it has
incredible.
the name underneath it. So,
my second question?
Yes.
Who reads this shit? No, really. Who reads all this stuff? Like for me, D&D consists of a rule book for me as a GM, a rule book for you as a player, and a big ass monster manual. What else do you need? Like,
well, here in fact, this kind of book is exactly made for me. Basically,
I can see why you're
sure. You read this shit, okay?
Because there are so many times where I'll come up with creating my own sort of like worlds and that kind of thing. But when I can't be asked to do any of that, I'll pick up a book like this and I'll use that as the process for me to tell my stories on the tabletop. So having something like Rime of the Frost Maiden is a good way to sit down and play through just one big campaign with that being the focus of it all. Like, for example, I've done it in the past for Dragon Age, for example. They came out with loads of different supplements for that, and I just used those as the sort of basis for my campaigns and then sort of added little bits here and there if I wanted to and that kind of thing too. So people have definitely, people followed the storyline when it first came out for Tiamat and her rise. That was the first big storyline. And so everyone read that and sort of played into that when it came to sort of telling their stories.
Well, not everyone read it. I didn't.
A lot of people did. So.
But also, if you've got people coming at D&D from way of computer games, Icewind Dale and the Forgotten Realms are a big part of the D&D
PC game stuff.
PC games.
Yeah.
All right.
So people will be aware
it doesn't
of
apply to me
the
either.
setting there.
Okay. Do you know what? I'm a Stone Age role player, right? Because I just never made it out of the dungeon. I just keep going deeper and deeper, man. You go down a corridor. There's a door to your left and a door to your right.
Well, as you can see by that stack of books behind me, I do tend to have quite a few.
Have you read them though, or are they purely for decoration?
I've read most of the Lord of the Rings ones. I've read maybe. How many D&D ones are there? What, one?
A lot.
7.
6 D&D ones there, 7, because there's one on the other side as well.
One on the
I've
other
read
side,
maybe 5 of those, because obviously I've read the core books and then 2 of the other ones. And then I tend to flick through them. Well, those ones cover to cover, but then I flick through the others. So one of the big things that a lot of people don't do nowadays is they never actually properly read the Dungeon Master's Guide. There's so much stuff in the DMG that is amazing for making stories and telling things and encounters and that kind of thing. And people just kind of gloss over it because it's like, oh, it's just going to be how to DM part 4 or something. And there's actually loads more in there. So,
I don't know. I'm having my grognard moment, man. 3 books. 3 books. Player guide, DM guide, and then most importantly of all, the Monsternomicon. A big-ass monster manual.
No. The most important thing is a cool cover to hide your plans behind.
All right.
That's cool.
I've got 2 of those.
DM screen, Lloyd. The DM screen. That takes me back. Do you remember us making our first DM screens out of cornflake boxes?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So you folding out the cornflake box and drawing our maps and our lists and stuff on the inside. See, that was proper D&D back then, man. You didn't need all this. I didn't need anybody to tell me how to do a good story because I wasn't interested in doing a good story.
That's it. If none of this stuff smells like fire, then it's not right. It has to be all burnt around the edges.
Yep. The amount of parchments that we tried to make by chucking paper into the oven
Into
to
the
see if
oven.
we could age it.
Bob in there.
Talking of monsters, this leads us on to what Gale Force 9 have been up to. So obviously a lot of people will know that Gale Force 9 do the official miniatures, sort of licensed miniatures, on sort of like a bigger sort of resin scale for their different campaigns and stuff. And so obviously they're doing exactly the same thing for Rime of the Frost Maiden, and they've come up with a big list of previews that are coming our way very, very soon.
Okay.
So as you can see, you've got things like the Frost Giant Ravager there, which is very cool. And a whole bunch of other miniatures that they've been showing off. Some of them are very traditional, and you'll recognize them from
I like that
campaigns
one.
past. So things like the Ice Troll, for example, there, which is really cool. But then some of them are slightly more sort of esoteric and a bit weird as well. A lot of them are tied directly into the storyline itself. So while Ice Witches obviously exist within the world of D&D, these ones are themed more towards the actual artwork that you see from those particular the books and stuff, which is very cool.
A Yeti.
You've got a Wampa there.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
Poor look.
Yeah. There you go. New character class, which is very well, not a new character class, but a new character model for sort of Barbarian as well, which is really cool. And some of his animal companions, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, I believe there's something like 15 new models that they're coming out with. Some of them need a little bit of work and stuff here and there. They're also still in the work in progress stages right now, but they are starting to work. This is the kind of thing when I talk about sort of the weird and wacky stuff. So this is the kind of stuff that maybe isn't in the main D&D books, like Monster Manual, but you might find it in Mordenkainen's Tomb of Foes.
These horns.
So.
Where's his horn?
No, there is a proper one all the way at the bottom.
Okay. Well, because a horny owlbear is something completely new to me. I want to explore this. Okay.
This one, everyone really liked. Everyone really liked the giant skeleton there. So.
Yeah.
Because once you've seen one Frost Giant, you've seen them all, but a Frost Giant Skelly Bob. That's
and a dragon of black ice. Check that out. That is. What are they?
They're quirky little fire creatures.
Twin gas. Like little sprite kind
there
of.
There you go. So there's Ariel, which is the new character from the main character from Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, and there's her in her slightly more bestial owlbear style form, and then in sort of ice form as well, which is very cool.
So shapeshifter.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Well, they got the owl legs right anyway.
Yes. Did you know that oil babies sleep on their fronts?
What, like face down?
They sleep face down because their heads are too heavy to support, so they can't sleep sitting up. So they just go flop like my children.
Wow.
Run around all day and then just go.
But
and then lie on their face.
I assume because they're an owl, they can just turn their face around.
No, just slap. You will find a picture, and I'm sure we are displaying it as we speak. But owls sleep
on the laser display board.
There we go.